Okay, so our third and final scenario for the ambiguous case. We have two sides. We have an angle. Let's call this angle A. Let's make it 57 degrees. Now, clearly this is an isosceles triangle, so we're not going to trust the drawing. We're going to trust our math on this. Okay, if you wanted a different explanation about how we can kind of piece together a drawing, check out the other two videos that I've already done on the ambiguous case, where there's one solution or there's no solution. Okay, identifying where there's two solutions is kind of a needle in a haystack when in terms of drawing it out. All right. But let's go with what information we know here. Let's make this 11. Let's put angle B here. Let's make the side across from that 13. And like we've said in previous videos, we know here that we have an opposite side and angle relationship pair here. So I can set up a full ratio in the law of sines. And then I'm going to use this proportion here to solve for B. Cross multiply, we get 13 sine 57 equals 11 sine B, and then we divide by 11 to start isolating that unknown value of B. Okay. And then, like I've shown in a previous example, like I could do this calculation at any point in time, but the entire thing would be an approximation at that point. Like I could have calculated this and got a decimal, but then I'd multiply it times 13 and I'd get another decimal that I'd probably be rounding, right? And then I'd be dividing that by 11 and getting another decimal that I'd probably be rounding. So let's skip all of the rounding, treat this sine 57 as a single number, right? And let's write our product on the top here, divided by 11. And let's take it to the next level and say, I'm solving for B. So I'm just going to take the inverse sine of this and get what I get for this value, right? So we go to the calculator, 13, 57, and 11. And because Desmos is awesome, I'm going to do this. I get 82.374, okay? So the inverse sine of 13 times sine of 57 over 11, 82.374. So we get 82.374 degrees. Now, because this is an ambiguous case triangle, immediately after we get this answer, we have to check its supplement. So this, all the math is good here. So right now, okay, solution number one, and you can tell by the title of this video, there's going to be two, but we don't know that at this point. But solution number one has the 57 degree angle. It has the 87.374 degree angle. And then let's see, 122, the 40.626 degree angle, right? All of these angles would add up to 180, right? So this is our 40 degree angle up here, right? So after we validate that answer, we find the complement, or excuse me, the supplement here, which ends up being 97.626. So if you check, and you can check this in Desmos, we know that 97.626, let's see, let's do this just to prove my point. The sine of 82.374 and the sine of 97.626, and you can see they have the exact same value. So how can two angles have the same sine value? That's a different discussion for a different day. A lot of it depends on your understanding of the unit circle, which you may or may not have seen at this point. Okay, so we have two angles that produce the same sine value. So when I'm doing the ambiguous case and I say, well, I'm going to take the inverse sine of this number and I get this, why can't this be a solution as well, right? So we have to check that. We did this in the video where there was one solution, right? But the supplement combined with the angle that we knew exceeded 180 degrees, so I couldn't find this angle here. Well, in this case, if I have a 57 degree angle and I have a 97.626 degree angle, okay, You add these together, right? The sum of these is only 154.626. That doesn't exceed 180. So I can get a third angle if I use this supplement, right? And that would be 25.374. Okay. So here's a situation where we do have two solutions. Now, when you get two solutions to this triangle, okay, it's kind of a pain, but you're going to have to go back through for each one of these and use that third angle in a law of sines ratio or proportion, right? So we had sine of 57 over 11 over the sine of 57. You'd have to find that other side, that other side C with this 40-degree angle here. And then down here, you'd have to do the exact same thing. You got to find that third side using this 25-degree angle. Okay. So it's a lot more work, not going to lie, for there to be two solutions. Okay. But we have to do our diligence as mathematicians on that. Okay. So always check the supplement to the angle that you find in an ambiguous case problem, and then check it with the angle that you were given to make sure it can or cannot fit under that 180-degree threshold.